Welcome back to Sports First, number one in sports. I am your host, Sabotage. Let's get into some NBA talk, cause we got ourselves a new champion, as in the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks of Milwaukee took out the Phoenix Suns in six, not four, in six, like that one fan. And as Brandon Jennings said, your MVP was old boy Giannis. Not really, not really a surprise to anybody. I mean, he's been dominating. He's been domination to the nation. Especially today, or yes, technically yesterday, during the game. That is, he dropped the 50 piece. He put the show on the Suns. He dropped 52 assists with 14 rebounds, which is pretty legitness, with 42 minutes played. Everybody else did a pretty good job. I mean, it was literally a pretty much six-man show, with Brooke dropping a 10, Drew dropping a 12 and 11, and Chris dropping a 17, 5 and 5, and Bobby Portis dropping the other 16, which is pretty nice since nobody else on the team scored. It wasn't, I guess, for this day and age, a super high scoring game or nothing, but I mean, Bucks are pretty I would say defensive minded, since they don't really got too much three guys. As in, what's his name? Brent Forbes been out for. I hadn't even noticed for how long. I was wondering where he was, but yeah, he has pretty much been gone for a little bit. Pretty much their best 3-point shoot, other than Bobby Portis, I would say. Connington actually is a pretty good shooter too. Just didn't really make anything, but he saw the 8 rebounds, which is all right. But Chris in the very last minutes or so, he came up decently clutch. Expected a little bit more from him, since he's been pretty legitness just throughout the whole playoff process and all. He's pretty much been the guy who, like, I wouldn't say bails the team out. You could say that maybe, but I mean, Giannis puts up his numbers either way. But when there was times where they needed points, and old boy Middleton came in clutch and pretty much did his job technically. Other than that, Drew did pretty well. I guess he's pretty much one of the key defensive guys. Pretty much when he's hooked up with D-Book, Zabuka, but even then, Devin Booker still ended up killing it himself. But still, like as in Game Five where he had that clutch steal. But before that, during the Game Five, he had a shot where, well, I think it was a three, ended up missing it, and there was only a couple of seconds left. That could have cost him Game Five. With man, the Suns. I mean, even during this game, they had like what 5.6 point lead. And that was pretty much the most they had during. I mean, even during the last game, Game Five, they just didn't really like. It just didn't show that they were going to win. I mean, as soon as the Bucks got those two in a row, everybody kind of saw that it was. I mean, a lot of people were going with the Bucks. Me personally, I already said that I was going with the Bucks, even though the Suns were up 2 games, ladies and gentlemen. So congrats to me for choosing correctly, even though I didn't choose either one of these two teams to be in the playoffs. Originally, I just thought it would be a better matchup, if there was a healthy Lakers versus Nets, or a healthy Clippers versus Nets. That would have been awesome. But then again, even the Nets weren't really healthy. As you saw, that shot that KD took, and his foot was on the line. That could have pretty much ended it for the Bucks. But here they are, winning a championship and looking pretty nice now, huh? Other than that, for the Bucks, I mean, Evra pretty much went through everything, with the 50. I mean, 50. Giannis got his 50. PJ Tucker, I guess he did his job too. Didn't really get any points. He's had a couple of games like it, but he's in the small forward position. He ain't really got to do too much, I guess. I mean, Jay Crowder had a couple of games where he really wasn't putting up too much. Mikal Bridges didn't do too much either, but Jay Crowder, I guess, did a decent amount. I guess we're stepping more towards the sun side. Um, Blaming wise, I'm not gonna go ahead and blame somebody specifically. It's just the Bucks really couldn't be. I mean, Giannis specifically couldn't be stopped, And then you had the others that really. I mean, they didn't have great games or nothing. All around, I don't think this is I guess for Giannis is a really individually that was a pretty good or great game. Um, Devin Booker actually was one of the players that could have put up more points, but I mean he had what two back-to-back 40s, so you would think somebody else would step up. If anything, I mean I'm not gonna say I'm blaming him, but could have had a much better games. There was a couple of points where he just like I feel like he could have gotten his DA. He could have gotten a couple of easy points actually, and Mikal Bridges. I remember during the game there was a couple of like pretty much almost layup scenario type of deals where one of them was a block from Giannis, pretty dope block. Not as nice as that game. Was it game three one? I think that was game three. That could have no, that might have been game four. But yeah, not as nice as that. But there was a pretty easy point that Mikal. I felt like it looked like it was an easy point, but Giannis just pretty much came up and blocked that. That was one point. Da had a couple of points where it looked like easy buckets just didn't get. I don't know if Da was injured or not. I don't know if anybody else thought about that or not, but I don't. It didn't seem like he was injured. Maybe he had like some low key injury that doesn't like well you could play through it, but you're just not yourself. Not 100, probably 80% or whatever. But still, I mean, didn't look like it. Watching from the tele, it didn't look like it. But Chris Paul even had a couple of moments where he looked like he could have done some. And I mean, Cam Johnson really wasn't there. Cam Payne, out of the majority of them, he put up 10 minutes, 10 points, two rebounds. That's not too bad for somebody that only played 10 minutes. At a couple points for every other 2 minutes or so. That ain't too bad. Frank Kaminsky actually came on and started doing a little some, but yeah, they really weren't. The main thing was they really couldn't stop Giannis, and their 3 game wasn't on. Neither was I don't remember the Bucks game 3-point game being on. It was a very low first quarter scoring from both. I mean, the Bucks had 29 points in the first, but still kind of low from both. With was in like 40 ranges during the half, but still 98 105 is kind of like I said in the beginning, kind of low for this generation. I mean, I really don't know what else to say about the Phoenix Suns. What else they could have done? Like I said, Mikal and Da, they were kind of they were. I feel like the pieces that could have put in a little bit more work, but Mikal's still young. This is both of the Da is actually pretty young too himself. Um, Cam Johnson's actually pretty young himself. This is the majority of their first ever finals. A couple of them, this is actually their first playoffs compared to the Bucks. A lot of the players actually have been to the playoffs, but still, they could have brought it back. I mean, it looked like it, like during the end of third, beginning of the third, looked like they could have had a chance, but it just there was just like a 6 point lead that they just couldn't get over. It was the 77 that got tied around there, and after that it was pretty much it. You just I don't know. There was also a lot of sloppy play I felt from the Suns, man. A lot of sloppy. Just also the confidence. It just didn't look like anybody was like too confident in taking their shots or none of. I wasn't seeing any. It just looked like they were going to lose compared to the game five. You know, the game five they were going. I feel like they should have won game five, but little mistakes cost them, and now the season's over, and we got ourselves some new champions, as in the Bucks of Milwaukee. And pretty much that's it for the NBA season. Been covering it ever since episode 1, and we're already on episode 23. Season will be back in like 3 months, around 3 months time, and I guess looking forward to that. We got the draft. Was it on the July 29th? I think it is. Most likely, Detroit Pistons gunning and pretty much I'm gonna, I guess, be keeping you guys up with updates and stuff now, like trade wise and stuff like that. Because the season's over, so I might be doing more of show type, stuff over podcasts. Well, I guess I could still eventually add stuff up since I'm gonna be keeping track of soccer or footy, as the Euros call them, as we Americans call it soccer. I'm gonna be keeping track of that too. I mean, I have been keeping track of it, just not really on the podcast wise. Because there is the Gold Cup going on too as well. I don't know if I'm going to be doing too much talking about that. The Euros over, Copa America's over, Argentina won it. Messi got his first title. Hey, look at that. England had hopes of bringing it home, but it went to Rome. Then I guess that's it for NBA today and for a hot minute. But I mean, I'm still gonna be doing videos, sure. Videos about NBA, so. So just watch out for that. But for today, that's going to be it for the NBA. And congratulations to the Bucks and to me for choosing them over the Suns. Even though I would say I'm more of a, I don't know. I like players on both sides, so I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. But that's it for the NBA. Now on to some UFCs. I'm gonna try to keep it light as a kite. If that makes any sense. We had UFC Fight Night. It was I'm pretty much just a recap. I mean, I didn't really get to. I was planning on doing on Saturday. Right after the Game 5 and the Fight Night UFC. Um, Moses versus Islam. That was a pretty. I mean, I pretty much caught the very two end fights. I didn't really get to the majority of the bottom cards. Didn't catch any of the prelims or none of that. But hopefully, I mean, the NBA's done some next week. The week that's coming up, I'm most definitely gonna catch all of that and more. With Corey Sandhagen and TJ Dillashaw. That one should be a pretty legit match, as they would say, or I would say. Um, Moreno Reneo versus Misha Tate. That was I would say a pretty decent fight, but similar to the Islam fight, it was a lot of grappling and takedown and stuff. But Misha Tate was just pretty much ground and pound. It was just whooping on Renee. It was just there was nothing really there for her to do, I guess. I mean, well, she was just pretty much beating up on her just the whole time. She got her with a takedown. What was it, the second? During the second round, she got her with a takedown and just started whooping on her. Got her blood and nose up, and she just it was kind of, I guess, you could say it was somewhat boring. But then during the third, she got her down, just started pounding her, hitting with left and rights, and ref had to come in and pretty much stop the fight, which guess was pretty decent bad. But like I said, it's kind of boring actually. I'm gonna stick with boring, but wasn't too bad. Misha Tate made a comeback. Then we had Islam versus Moses, Thiago Moses. That fight was it was I guess you could say it was much better than the co-main event with the bantamweight, light heavyweights, as in Islam versus Thiago. That was a pretty good fight, actually. In a way, a pretty good fight. I mean, I'm not too big on wrestling and wrestlers, as in not too big on two grapplers just going at it, but Thiago and Islam, I guess they try to keep it on they tried to, do a little stand up, but it was a lot of just pretty much watching what the others are gonna do, and that didn't really work out. So Islam just pretty much Islam did say he was trying to knock him out, or he said finish him. I don't know if he meant by, pretty sure he meant by when he said finish him, as in I think he was trying to knock him out because he did try a little fighting, as a stand-up fighting, but that didn't really do too much. He had two really, I mean, man, technically he as in Islam was pretty much manhandling Thiago to be realistic, to be more realistic. If anything, I haven't seen that kind of. I mean, what fight was that? Peter Yan versus Sterling was similar when it was just. I haven't seen a fighter just get manhandled, for a main event, just pretty much getting beaten the living crap out of, pretty much. Um, Man, Islam pretty much did WWE style with a power bomb on old boy Thiago Moses, but then he kind of got out of. I don't know. It was just thrown to the ground, and then pretty much ended up putting him in a submission lock, triangle. Was it triangle choke? Was it a choke from behind, pretty much? Um, got him. Just pretty much tapped him out. I mean, was him. Islam did. I'm guessing Islam was trying to knock him out, but that obviously didn't work, and he just. I don't know if he was playing with food, but kind of seemed like it. Pretty good fight though, I guess, but still it looked a little bit easy for Islam. He did call a couple of fighters out, but I guess he's got to wait for right now. You know what?